The growing influence of the Islamic State among Bangladeshi youth is raising serious concerns over the country's peace and security. The growing traction of youth towards jihadi ideology under the influence of varied terror groups is not only posing threat to Bangladesh but also India, which consistently remains a victim of radical Islamic terrorism propagated by Pakistan and its notorious spy agency ISI. Recently, a Bangladeshi youth was nabbed by Singapore security agencies on the charges of terrorism. A report.
Since the year 2000, Bangladesh has experienced more than 100 incidents of Islamist terrorism. Of late, the country has become a recruitment hub for the Islamic State terror group. Gullible youths attracted by the Islamic State in Bangladesh either indulge in terror activities in South Asia or go off to developed countries to generate funds for the terror groups. Recently, a 26-year-old Bangladeshi youth Ahmed Faisal was arrested in Singapore under the Internal Security Act following investigations into terrorism-related activities. Faisal was working as a construction worker in Singapore since early 2017 and became radicalized in 2018 after imbibing online propaganda on Islamic State.
The arrest of a Bangladeshi in Singapore is manifestation of growing radicalism within Bangladesh. This is not the first time a Bangladeshi has been arrested in Singapore. In May 2016, some Bangladeshis were arrested. To be precise, 8 Bangladeshis. They were funding terror groups back in Bangladesh. Even this Bangladeshi was funding extremist groups in Bangladesh. He also had intention to go to Syria and fight for ISIS and other extremist groups. Subsequently, he realized that it was not easy for him to go to these countries. So he wanted to go back to Bangladesh and act against Hindus in his own country. He also had intention to go to Kashmir and fight there. So these expatriate Bangladeshis are a source of funding for extremist groups in Bangladesh, and some of them also act as recruits for extremist groups.
Curtailing funding and money laundering for Bangladeshi terrorist groups is a significant challenge for the authorities. There are a large number of external and internal sources of terror financing which are used for recruiting and training the cadres of extremist groups like NGOs, charities and donations, self-funding, criminal activities like robbery and legitimate businesses in several sectors such as banking, healthcare, education or real estate. Moreover, Pakistan's notorious inter-services intelligence is also providing monetary support to train terrorist groups in Bangladesh to carry out terror strikes in the region and other parts of South Asia. High-ranking senior diplomats of Pakistani diplomacy have often been held guilty for funneling fake currency to terror groups to carry out activities related to terrorism and hatred.
Pakistan is trying to brainwash young Bangladeshis against India in many ways. Especially its High Commission is a hotbed of extremist activity in Bangladesh. Their diplomats remain in touch with various radical groups in Bangladesh. Some of their diplomats have been arrested even in the past and deported from Bangladesh. These diplomats incite these recruits of these terror groups to act in India. They also fund them and perhaps also put them in touch with similar radical groups back in Pakistan.
Several evidences have time and again proved that Pakistan is providing protection, training, strategic planning, financial assistance and equipment to terrorist and insurgency groups operating in the region to destabilize neighboring Afghanistan and India. India has made efforts domestically and along with Bangladesh to counter the threat posed by the Pakistan-backed terror groups. However, with terrorists adapting to exploit new technologies and new tactics, the threat of terrorism will continue to pose a big challenge to Bangladesh's peace and security.